Ladies and gentlemen, here we are again. We are talking about the same thing we was talking about yesterday. We're talking about blended families. And today I'm going to talk more about structure and discipline. And I'm going to revise some of the things that I said because I listened to my videos. I watched the previous ones from the day before so I don't too much repeat what I said the previous day. I will make footnotes, but hey, I'm new at this. I'm trying to get better at it. So one of the things I want to talk about is discipline. Like, how do you discipline in a blended family? How do you discipline that one child that doesn't live with you? And there's an issue. So let's say you guys are spending, you guys are doing something like movie night, or you guys are hanging out or whatever, and that one child that doesn't live with you has got an attitude and they're lashing out. What do you do? Because it was told to me, and like I was learning this whole parental thing, and I didn't have issues with my oldest child until I got married. So she was easier to talk to before I got married. We were closer before I got married. But whenever she acted out, her and her sister would act out, it's like, what do I do? And so I was like, I don't get to see her or see them but every 2 weeks. So she come over Friday night, and then sometimes the mom was acting like an asshole, and then I'd go pick up her sister at 4:00, and then I had to wait to pick her up, and then sometimes it'd be like, can you come back and get her? We're doing something or what. I'm like, you been a fucking asshole about this. But it was like, all right, cool. And then I was kind of put in a position where if I argued about it, she would just make the shit worse. But that's a whole nother story. We'll talk about that later. And then let's say they come to the house, and then it's like, okay, they start acting up, so I got to punish them, or I got to give them consequences or something. So the issue was my wife, her biological children. Well, you did this to them. You gave them this punishment, but you didn't give this to them. So I said, I think after a while it was like I couldn't punish my biological children because they didn't live with us. Trying to get their mothers to implement disciplinary action was like null and void. It was almost impossible. It was like crazy, because then they would basically get away with it. And for some strange reason, not to repeat myself, they just felt like, well, she didn't do it to me, or they didn't, she didn't do it to me, so it's okay. And that was a shitty thing. It was a shitty situation. But when my wife's biological children get in trouble, I handed out discipline. So she felt like it was unfair, but I'm like, she didn't understand the whole dynamics of it. It's like, I can't force them to implement any type of discipline on them. Okay, it's only going to cause problems. It's going to get stupid. And that's just the nature of the beast right now. But I can give them sentences. And I didn't want to give them sentences because I can whoop them. But then if I whoop them, then the wife didn't want me to whoop her children. So I'm like, what do you do? Right? Discipline has to be given. But then I didn't, I really just didn't I didn't want them to have a screwed up weekend. You know what I'm saying? But then at the same time, they was acting up. You have to put it down. You have to assert discipline and authority in those situations. And so it's like, I'll just go in the room. You can't watch movies with us. Go ahead and eat your food, because I would cook burritos, hamburgers, and French fries. I'd get ice cream and all kind of stuff and try to make the weekend, and movies. I would try to make the weekend nice. So I really was like, dang, I can't. I just didn't want to ruin it. I'm like, why y'all acting up? Why would you do that? And so it was a whole thing that, it was just weird. It was a lot of confusion. It was a lot of, oh, he's showing favoritism and all this other stuff. It's like, no, I'm not showing favoritism. I'm at a point where I'm confused as to what to do, because I don't get to see my girls but once every other weekend. Your kids are always here. So it's easier for me to discipline them. And then it was a situation where she felt like I was showing favoritism to the female, but not to him. But I'm like, it's not the same. They're not acting the same. Really, they're not. I knew she was sneaky, but yet she was, and if I gave it face value, she was more disciplined than he was. But it was just a jammed up situation. You had to find a way to get it done. So what I think I ended up doing, if I can remember correctly, I would whoop them, because I was told that when you give them discipline, let's say they act up this weekend and you don't have time to apply. Because I was, like I said, if I'm giving them sentences, I couldn't make sure that her mom was going to finish them or have her finish them. They would just do sentences till they got ready to leave. Well, it's not fair because she's going to be leaving them. I said, well, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I did the best I could. We came up with several different things that we could do. But sentences was the biggest thing, because nobody got a whooping and you got discipline. So I was shortening them to a point where, like, okay, you got to go write 100 sentences and you can't watch the movie. They would be so upset. It would be, oh man, it'd be crazy. But my wife got what she wanted. I got what I wanted, and it worked out. But it was just like, I would just be talking to them like, please don't act up, because I don't want to have to give you sentences. You making it difficult for me. You don't understand. And maybe they didn't care at the time. I don't know. They were young and going back and forth with this. They had their own personal issues at home that they were dealing with that I didn't know about, that I found out later. But you have to come up with something. You can't just let it slide. For those of you out there who are dealing with that, or have dealt with that same problem, or are dealing with that same problem, if you have the biological children, they're not staying with you, or non-biological children, you have a few kids that's coming over for the weekend, they act up, how do you discipline them? I would say something that's abrupt. If you're going to whoop them, hit them across the butt. If you don't want to whoop them, I would say give them sentences or some sort of something, because the time with them is precious, man, and you don't want to really have them spend time away from, activities. Because if you're not going to discipline them, you can't discipline the other ones. You got to be fair across the board. And it's going to take teamwork. It's going to take the mother and father to really put their heads together to make sure that things are fair and understood at the end of the day. One thing I want to leave y'all with, because I'm still trying to make my videos short. I wrote down, reiterate something that I said in the previous video. Father and mother are like the head coach and the assistant coach, who are also part owners of the team. Meaning that depending on if you're a religious person, your teachings also come from the Bible. So God would be part owner. He would be the owner of the team, meaning the family. And the mother and father are part owners. And also the head coach and assistant coach. The children and the parents act as teammates, because you can learn something from your children if you allow them to say and speak. Because I told mine, like I said in the previous video, I said, if you got something on your mind, please let me know. Please say what's on your mind. Because I wanted to teach them to be open enough that they could communicate no matter what situation they found themselves in. If they felt like they had something to say, they would say it respectfully and tactfully in order for them to get the word out, get their emotions, and be able to control their emotions and channel words like they should. And working together they all are teammates, working together for the greater good of the family as a whole, meaning that there is no favoritism. Okay? There is no favoritism at all. There is fairness across the board. There is love and there's compassion, and there is mother and father that are there to encourage the love and the compassion and the fairness. No matter if they're biological or non-biological. That's why I say they throw this thing out there like as a blended family. I'm like I said, blended family. That doesn't even make sense to me because both of the parents are there, even though he is not the biological parent of these kids and she is not the biological parent of those kids. They're still a family. Let me give you an example. You got folks that you grew up with, right? That you met as children, your best friends. What's another name for them? Fam. Oh, they family. My homeboy passed away years ago. His mom was feeling some kind of way about other people coming to the wake. I talked to her sister, which she grew up with us, and she was like, look, y'all go ahead and come through. I'm gonna talk to her because maybe she's just not feeling, she going through emotions. Her son passed away. Y'all are family. My homeboy referred to me as family because we grew up together. We knew each other. We spent nights with each other. We hung out with each other. Used to go to the fair, Strawberry Festival, and all that stuff. We used to do all these things. So we gonna call each other family. And there ain't no blood relation. We call each other brother. We didn't call each other stepbrother. Doesn't make sense, right? But we can say we like brothers or we like family. My homeboy introduced me to his girlfriend as brother from another mother. So when you talk about a blended family, why would you refer to the families being blended? Stepmother and stepfather. Do you understand the meaning of the word stepmother, stepfather? I'll get into that next video because this one ran too long. Folks, listen to what I'm saying. I hope that you guys get something out of it. Please love your children, love your kids. Communication is the key. You feel me? Peace.